Senegal voted in a tightly contested presidential race after months of unrest. Kate and William extremely moved by support. Since the Princess of Wales cancer revelation, Russian massacre suspects' homeland is plagued by poverty and religious strife. Today is Tuesday, March 26th, 2024, and this is the Dunkley Report International News. Senegalese have voted in a tightly contested presidential race following months of uncertainty and unrest that have tested the West African nation's reputation as a stable democracy in a coup-prone region. Observers say turnout appeared high on Sunday morning. The election comes after President Macky Sall unsuccessfully tried to postpone the February 25th vote until the end of the year. Sall is barred from seeking a third term. The process has been marred by unrest, and hundreds of opposition protesters have been jailed. In the run-up to the vote, opposition leader Ousmane Sonko was released from prison, but he was barred from running due to a prior conviction for defamation. He has backed his key ally, Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Kate, the Princess of Wales, and her husband, Prince William, are said to be extremely moved by the public's warmth and support following her shocking cancer announcement, as tributes continued to pour in from around the world. After weeks of frenzied speculation on social media about her health, Kate said in a candid video message on Friday that she is undergoing chemotherapy for cancer following major abdominal surgery. Meanwhile, King Charles III's nephew, Peter Phillips, said the king is frustrated, that his recovery is taking longer than he would want it to, but that he was in good spirits and pushing his staff to be able to return to his duties after beginning his treatment for cancer last month. The 4 men charged with the massacre at a Moscow theater have been identified by the Russian government as citizens of Tajikistan. They are some of the thousands who migrate to Russia each year from the poorest of the former Soviet republics to scrape out marginal existences. Along with grinding poverty, Tajikistan is rife with religious tensions. Hardline Islamists were one of the main forces opposing the government in a 1990s civil war that devastated the country. The militants claiming responsibility for the Moscow massacre that killed 137 people. A branch of the Islamic State group in neighboring Afghanistan reportedly recruit heavily from Tajikistan. Throng of supporters of President Nicolas Maduro rallied Monday at a giant stage outside the downtown Electoral Council headquarters, where he is expected to make official his candidacy for a third term. Meanwhile, his would-be rival, Karina Yonas, struggled against a ticking deadline to register her candidacy and found she was unable to in what the opposition denounced as the latest attack on Venezuela's democracy. Polls show that Venezuelans would trounce the unpopular Maduro. But the self-proclaimed socialist leader has blocked his chief opponents from running. Yoris was nominated last week to head the tickets of 2 smaller parties previously authorized to participate in July's presidential election in an attempt to dare him into blocking a complete unknown from running against him. Farmers are driving dozens of tractors in a slow-motion convoy towards Britain's Parliament to protest post-Brexit rules and trade deals that they say are endangering livelihoods and food security. Supporters of the campaign groups Save British Farming and Fairness for Farmers of Kent drove from southeast England on Monday, bound for Parliament Square. Dozens of supporters waited to welcome them. UK agriculture has been heavily affected by Britain's exit from the EU. Many farmers say post-Brexit trade deals have opened the door to cheap imports that are undercutting British producers. Britain has so far not seen large-scale farmers' protests like those that have snarled cities in France and other European countries. South African prosecutors say they intend to charge the parliamentary speaker with corruption. They allege that she took $135,000 and a wig in bribes from an unnamed person over a 3-year period while she was defense minister. Prosecutors announced their intention in a court hearing Monday. Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa Nikakula hasn't been arrested or charged. Her case is the latest graft scandal to hit the African National Congress Party. The governing party faces a pivotal national election on May 29th. Tens of thousands of people have celebrated the Jewish holiday of Purim in Jerusalem, though the traditionally boisterous celebrations have been muted this year by the Israel-Hamas war. Although many cities across Israel decided to cancel their Purim celebrations due to the ongoing conflict, Jerusalem held a traditional Purim parade for the first time in 42 years. Participants said celebrating Purim was complex given the ongoing war, but it was important to grab joy wherever possible. A London court is due to rule whether WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange can challenge extradition to the United States on espionage charges. 2 judges will issue a ruling Tuesday morning in the High Court on whether Assange can make one final appeal in England. His legal team fears that he could be swiftly sent to the U.S. to face charges if he fails. But Assange's lawyers will likely ask the European Court of Human Rights to block his extradition. The U.S. government argued at a hearing last month that Assange put lives at risk in his bid to solicit, steal, and indiscriminately publish classified government documents. Assange's lawyers argued he risked a flagrant denial of justice if sent to the U.S. A major European Union plan to fight climate change and better protect nature in the 27-nation bloc has been indefinitely postponed. The member states were supposed to give final approval to the bill on Monday, following months of proceedings. A Belgian regional climate minister who chaired the meeting of the EU Environment. Minister said there was no qualified majority of 15 of the 27 member states to support the bill after Hungary changed its vote. The change of heart follows weeks of relentless protests from farmers across the bloc, who have argued that reams of environmental laws governing the way they work are driving them toward bankruptcy. Thank you for joining us here at the Dunkley Report International News. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest breaking stories.